This is the new Artisan Cutlery Kami. Not like Kami Bastard, but Kami like the kukri makers of Nepal. Kami is what they are called. This is a Dirk Pinkerton design, and he's one of my absolute favorite designers. I've done several shows with him and about him. And one thing I really love about his designs is that they are all very modern, but they all seem to borrow from history. We've had conversations about this, different historical knives that inspire him, and he mashes them up. You'll see elements of different ethnographic and historical knives in one design, and I think it's very cool. We see that here in the Kami. You see a blade that's got a deep recurve, but a point that is still in the middle. So great placement of that point. You know where it is all the time, but you have this super deep belly and this tight recurve in here. And obviously that accelerates cutting, that accelerates slashing, and that kind of activity. Well, I mean, cutting like this, it'll trap whatever material you're cutting in this portion here and just accelerate that cutting. Though you might, if you're doing a lot of cardboard, you might take that off. But really, that blade is optimized for kind of slashing, cutting, self-defense-y kind of stuff, the way I see it. That point is right down the center line, though, so it's not oddly placed for EDC or anything that you're actually going to use this knife for. Wow, I got way ahead of myself. This design, to me, is self-defense all day long, but I've been carrying it for about 3 days now, straight, and haven't had to defend my life once with it, but I have found that it works spectacularly in all other roles that I have to press a knife into. A lot of them being food, also a lot of them being packaging. This week for me is I'm at home a lot more than a normal week, and so I'm working around the house more, kind of unburied my patio from a whole bunch of different stuff, not only projects, but nature, and this played a role. So did some of my other larger knives, and one of them I'll show you up here in a second. But the Kami, this shape to me is perfect because it's got that sort of recurve blade that I love. I'm not afraid of a recurve blade. They're not difficult to sharpen, in my opinion, if you have a rounded or curved stone. I love this shape blade. I'm going to show you some knives here in a minute that this I'm going to put on the same quote-unquote shelf with, because it is just a stunning and beautiful and super useful recurve. All right, so this is S35 VN. You can see it's got a nice stone wash, nearly full height flat grind. Well, for most of it is, and but with that clip, this is like a clip point to me, a long straight clip in a way. I don't know, it also reminds me a little bit of the peak of a Winkler. I love the shape of the blade. That I've been talking a lot about that recurve, but this spine with that straight and long taper over the course of this grind is really beautiful from all aspects, and deceptively sharp and useful. Deceptively, I mean, because this tip goes into materials much quicker than I expect. So if you're actually opening up a box with this, you definitely might want to put your finger there to stop it from going all the way in. So that's like a 3.6 inch blade. It's not like a 3.6 inch blade. It's actually what it is. 3.6 inch blade, S35 VN, on washers, on bearings, very, very smooth. And something we see here that we don't see often in Dirk Pinkerton designs is just straight ahead jimping. And the jimping is awesome. It's nice and sharp. It's not too aggressive that it's gonna menace your thumb, but it really, your thumb does sink in there. And with the overall ergonomics here, that thumb ramp and those jimps are welcome and very comfortable, natural and intuitive. Some people don't like thumb discs. I do. I have a long history of loving them on Emerson knives and other knives. I like that he went with a thumb disc here. Dirk uses thumb discs, I was going to say often, but I'm thinking actually of the inversion. I know there's some thumb discs on some of his inversions. Some people like them, some people don't like them. If you don't like it, you have other ways to open this blade, like that flipper. You could always remove it and put an aftermarket tab there. I bet would work, similar to the one that actually Dirk ships with his inversion. Something like that would be kind of cool in there to wave this sucker open. But not everything has to be waved, even though I would love to have everything waved. Okay, so now we move to the handle, and we have that deep chamfering that we see on a lot of Dirk Pinkerton designs. Deep, I mean deep into the profile. When you look at it from the side, it gives it almost a contoured feel because you have three almost equal planes here. And so it just kind of has a rounded contoured feel in hand. Same thing on this side with the titanium. You have micro milling on that titanium, which is very handsome. I like how it traces around the chamfering. The clip you see is, excuse me, whew, dusty down here. The clip you see here is sculpted titanium and fits beautifully, works awesome. I like the little bit of micro milling on there. Might add a little bit of tactile orientation. It's not going to give you much grip. But something I really love about this now, we're talking about how this recurve is kind of like a kukri. This handle is not like a kukri. It is in that it has an aggressive centrifugal force plan here in this bird's beak, but it doesn't look much like a historical kukri there. And that's another thing, like I was saying before, that I think is really cool about Dirk's designs, is just it's like Jeet Kune Do of knife design. You take what works from certain elements of certain historical blades, you put them together, and you get a knife better than the original, or definitely more specialized. Okay, so this right here fits in reverse grip like an absolute dream. You can see these little swales and that hump there, and of course this bird's beak pommel here really bookend the hands, and then you have, or bookend the fingers. Here you have the nice flipper tab to keep it all in. And then this, of course, I love this. I like that in designs. Pommels, I love to have a place to put the thumb, a deliberate place, and that is just, it's perfect. It's perfect. This knife is a new favorite. I am a real fan of this one. I got two knives in a package from Artisan. That one and this one I've been raving about. You've seen me show this one off quite a bit. Well, this is the production model. I'll do a video on this one too, with the satin blade instead of what I had, the blasted, on that prototype. And then a different, I would say, quality and color of titanium. So really cool stuff from Dirk Pinkerton and Artisan Cutlery. But I gotta say, I think this one is man, this takes the cake. This is one of my favorites. This one got me excited when I received it. Like, here, I'll compare it with some knives here. This one recently just reawakened my interest in folders after like only being into fixed blades for a little while. You know how I'm cyclical. This knife kind of had the same thing when it showed up. I was like, it was a gut punch, a really excellent one. This one, of course, reminding me of the OG favorite, the Emerson Commander. And since I'm just showing my favorite recurves, I figured I think this is joined in the bunch here. So here's the Emerson, or the Marlowe Squale made by Boker that I love. And then, of course, the OG recurve here, the Ken Onion 200 from ZT. Let me show this off with a couple of other Dirk Pinkerton designs too. But before we do that, this is a kukri, so my other two folding kukris here are the Raja 2 here from Cold Steel and the Knights Elements Fox made MK Ultra. This one is probably the most like a traditional kukri in my opinion, with that handle. This one is no doubt a really awesome, useful kukri-esque knife as well. But man, this one is very pocketable at 3.6 inches, where these other ones are a bit larger. though I've always thought that this one carries very nicely because it's pretty flat. This one just doesn't carry at all. I mean, I don't carry it. This will go out and do lawn work or something like that, or sit on my armrest of my chair while I watch a movie. Okay, so other awesome Pinkerton folder designs. Excuse me. This is the Night Horse. Love that. This is an exclusive over there at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, made by Asymmetrical, which is a product line of Beyond EDC. And then here is under Dirk's own shingle. That's the inversion, which I love. We first saw the inversion with a much more pronounced reverse Americanized tanto in the Kaiser model. And then he dropped this one, serial number 44. He dropped this one with the ring, which I absolutely adore. You could also take that out and have it be a non-ringed knife if you prefer, but I love it like that. And then here's, I was going to say my favorite of the bunch, but there is no favorite of the bunch. I love this one. This is the Contact, also asymmetrical. I love that blade shape, that what do you call it? Not Warncliffe. Well, it's Warncliffey, but the one of the Japanese knife. Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? What the hell is it called? Kiridashi. Like the Nova 2. This one was a big influence on me for the Nova 2 design. This and the Hinderer, I would say. And this one's a sweet little knife too, but all right. So these are some superlative Dirk Pinkerton designs. I have a few others, and then I have some of his fixed blades, which are just astoundingly awesome. His skills at the grinder are second to none, and his design is so cool. Oh, these are the little jimps I'm used to seeing from Dirk Pinkerton. These little scoops, I love them. They remind me of file work. Anyway, here it is. It's super cool. I absolutely love this. It's out now. It's the Emerson. I keep saying Emerson. My apologies. It is the Artisan Cutlery. Artisan Cutlery Kami, designed by the great and powerful Dirk Pinkerton. Look at how cool that looks in my hand in reverse grip. This knife is amazing. I'm a big, big fan. All right. Thanks for watching.